What's going on, everybody? It's Joe from the Acceptable Casualties here to take a look at the Red October factory ruins from Novus Design Studio. So this piece right here, I ended up getting part of my order when I talked to Robert and started putting together the Stalingrad table. I ended up picking up one of these, and like I said, this is the Red October factory, the ruin of it. So for those of you who don't know, like this was like a huge battle in Stalingrad for this piece right here. I think this factory, if it was actually like real size, it was like roughly a mile long. Like that Robert was telling me a little bit about the history of it. There was like roughly a mile long. I think he said there was like the two divisions of German troops that like fought, and then like I don't know how many died just trying to take this one factory in the battle for Stalingrad. Like this piece was huge. So obviously for wargaming purposes, you can't have something that massive made of resin on the table. It's just impossible to produce something to that scale. So this has been scaled down drastically, but still leaves a really nice sized footprint on the table. I think it's roughly about a foot long. And then, at its widest part, probably about like 10 or 11 inches wide. So it's a really nice footprint on the table. Really nice for scale too. Like I'll just put like a 15 millimeter model down here so you guys can kind of see the size that you would get in here. Like you can still do a lot of good fighting in here as far as vehicles and infantry go. Single bases, multi bases, there's a lot of room to move. So the detail on this is really good. It's kind of a brick finish on the outside. Not a lot of cleanup that you're going to have to do. Now you got some barrels in here. The rubble going around the whole outside in there. You got some of the blown out brick parts that are probably part of the awning like leading up in here to the entrance. If we turn it sideways, you guys can kind of get a better look too of what you have going through here. So the whole interior is open going all the way through, and then you said you have a lot of room in here to do your to do any kind of fighting or anything like that, maneuvering. A lot of detail on the ground. Like I said, you got barrels everywhere. You got some corrugated steel, the blown out rubble, even like the blown out brickwork in here. It's really nice. Even on top of the pillars here, you kind of get that same feel as well. Going through, you got like some of the blown out rubble on top where the roof would have been before it got blown out. So you got like this, it's really, really well detailed piece here, and it's it's designed with wargaming in mind. You have a lot of flexibility as far as moving pieces around in here, a lot of open ground in here, so you can fit vehicles as well as infantry. Really, really nice piece. Like I said, for those of you that were looking at doing like a city fight table, this would work in any kind of, it doesn't have to just be Stalingrad. I mean, like this kind of piece would work in any kind of industrial section for any kind of table, whether you're doing Berlin, Stalingrad, anything from like, Germany to that Eastern Front. This would kind of fit the mold really, really well. This piece right here, I want to say it's in that $30 to $40 range. If you're looking at it right now, like I said, it's resin. You do have to wash it before you paint it. Like I said, I mentioned this in the Stalingrad train station video as well. All it takes is some warm to hot water, a toothbrush, and just kind of go through, scrub it out real nice. Even you got like a cloth and you want to rub it down that way and kind of just get the mold release off. It's a milder mold release from what Robert was telling me. So he says it's not as strong as the one I guess they were previously using. You still have to go through and you still have to wipe it, but it's not as much of a scrub job, I guess, is what it used to be. So just kind of go through, just kind of wipe it down, and then the primer will stick to it really nice. As far as cleanup for flashing goes on this one, there is some flashing on here, a little bit more than what the last one that I noticed. It might be just more noticeable because there's a lot more right angles and flat surfaces on this one compared to the other one. So if you're looking in here right now, you just have to go through with a hobby knife. Like I don't have one on me, but if you guys can see the way the lighting is, there's like that slight lip on the inside of the brick right here. So all you do is really just go in there. This resin cleans up really easily. I was doing it before on another model, and it peels off really easily. But like I said, the bonus of doing this stuff with a ruin is you can go through, you hit the obvious stuff, and even if you happen to miss something, it's a ruin. It's gonna look messed up. It's gonna look like it's been blown to hell. So if you miss a piece here and there, it's not going to be a deal breaker. You probably won't even notice it, to be totally honest with you. But just to be aware, there are some resin flashing as you go through here. Probably the ones I've noticed most are kind of on the inside pillars going through right here. But the good thing is it's a flat surface, so you just get like your hobby knife or something like that, and like I said, it cuts off super clean. Same thing with the barrels. There's a little bit on top, but like I said, none of this stuff is even remotely close to a deal breaker. Just something to kind of be aware of when you pick this up and you're kind of trying to clean it up and get it ready for painting. Like I said, the stuff in the rubble can't even really notice it. It's not that big of a deal, even if you did. And then, like I said, just to clean up the barrels and then kind of just watch around the pillars go through. You probably clean this thing up in about a half hour or an hour if you really wanted to dig in there and make this thing perfect. But yeah, awesome model, totally cool. Fits the blown out city thing really well. Like I said, that's the scale right there. Like here's a half track. If you guys want to kind of get an idea as far as what vehicles would look. If you were going to throw them in there. So, you know, like I said, like there's a lot of room to play, you know, and war game in this particular piece of terrain right here. And it's a nice size footprint on the table as well. So yeah, this is the Red October Factory from Novus Design Studio. Leave the link down below. Leave some comments if you guys have messed around with this one or painted it up before, because that would help me, because I have to paint all these. And I don't want to say it's intimidating, but it's like, man, like this is a lot of buildings to put together. So if you guys got any kind of tricks, tips, or anything as far as, you know, what color to prime in, what color to hit these bricks up in, you know, do it in a red, or it's gonna be easier to do it like in a concrete gray, or, you know, even like the to get that green metallic, that's like that green metal they use for these girders over here. If you guys know like the right paint colors for all that, man, just pump me full of information so I get this thing looking good, so when we drop it down on the table for battle reports, it'll really stand out and it'll be a nice piece. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later.